Are you prepared for adulthood? Or perhaps you're simply too afraid to confront it. If you want to mature into a man, boy, you have to be tough. You must confront your issues head-on and not depend on outside assistance. Nobody will come to aid you in this accursed world. A man was once a boy but changed physically and mentally after years of hard work and mind control. Become the ultimate man. It's time you see reality and face your demons. We'll tell you 8 critical things that turn boys into men. Weaklings can skip because there are some tough life lessons in this video. Number 1. Fight for what's right being a man. Not that you have to go around punching people like you're in a UFC cage match, but you do need to have the guts to speak up for the weak and take a stand for what's right. There's nothing wrong with seeking the path of least resistance, but not if it means giving up early or settling for mediocrity. Real men don't just settle for the hard things in life. They defend the weak, fight for justice for the oppressed, fight for your family, and do the difficult things. If you want to learn how to make money, spend more time with books getting to know the basics of doing business, and maybe even start a small side hustle. Don't just accept a well-liked degree if you want to attend a particular university course, but your parents can't afford the tuition costs. Instead, look for part-time employment that will allow you to save money for your education or research potential scholarships and installment payment options. Some things are worth fighting for. Number 2. Think beyond yourself. When children are young, they look to their parents for all the answers. When they are teenagers, many of them remain in this stage and exhibit the following statistics: believing that you are superior to others, exaggerating your abilities and expecting unceasing praise and awe, failing to understand others' emotions or feelings, and expressing contempt for those who appear to be less capable and who have trouble maintaining healthy relationships. The ability to transcend self-consciousness requires an increase in overall consciousness. By raising your level of consciousness, you'll be able to appreciate humanity's inherent brilliance, connect with people more deeply, feel more joy, and be better able to manifest the future you desire. Meditation is a useful tool to help you experience your thoughts and feelings. Instead of blocking out your emotions, allow yourself to feel them. Learn from them. Let them go after it, and accept that the journey itself is the goal rather than just a means to an end. Find the things you have given meaning to that don't deserve it, and start listening to your inner voice. Travel the world. Experience different cultures. Have your assumptions and worldview challenged. Be humble about your own humanity. Identify the meaningless things to which you have given meaning. Number 3. Admit you don't know everything. Asking for assistance necessitates reaching out to our family, friends, and most importantly, our communities for solutions, which requires courage. Bulldozing through life and hoping for the best keeps you stuck in little boy mode, which has limited options and encourages us to continue externalizing our problems and blaming everything and everyone else for the chaos in our lives. Number 4. Feed the family. Men should take notes from Kevin Durant's MVP speech to his mother, because becoming a man means taking care of others, even though it may seem unreasonable to provide for everyone in your life at once. If you don't have children now, you might in the future. Boys look to their parents for food, but men will go to any lengths to provide for their families. Number 5. Live life authentically. We are more than the sum of our experiences. We are also the stories we have written about ourselves and others. Although the messages they convey are at best dubious, if we can distinguish between the positive and negative, we can create a pretty good framework within which to move forward. Breaking old paradigms is difficult work and takes courage, but the results are worth the effort. In order to build and maintain a life that sustains you holistically, it will be essential to keep connected to the things you consider important, such as your career or your love life. Number 6. Take responsibility for your life and set your standards high. Men step down if they are not needed, and as a result of society's message that men are no longer necessary, many men are staying in their parents' basements. However, while the majority of men won't go out of their way to accept challenges and responsibilities, this is precisely what they should do if they want to thrive. It is now well known that perception is followed by physical experience. If you set your sights high in life, you will accomplish incredible things. However, in order to do this, you cannot any longer play the victim of your circumstances, blaming the outside world, your parents, your school, or the difficulties you have encountered in life will not help you solve your problems. You have the inner power to create whatever life you want to achieve. All you need to do is spend time creating that world with intention. Write down exactly what you want in life and set your standards ridiculously high. Don't hold anything back. Read, rewrite, and reread your ambitions frequently. These will soon consume your soul. Number 7. Self-discipline and self-control. The quality of self-discipline is doing something we don't want to do but should. And the quality of self-control is not doing something we want to do but shouldn't. The lack of one or both of these character traits sinks more ships and destroys more lives than any other character deficit. The absence of either of these traits leads men into drug, gambling, drinking, and adultery addictions, all of which are family-destroying. Self-control and self-discipline keep a man from acting in ways that he would never act in public. These inner strengths, like muscles, are developed over time with exercise. Typically, if a man lacks self-control in one area of his life, he lacks it in others as well. A boy learns self-control and discipline by being held responsible for his actions. Number 8. Get extensive physical stimulation. A potent and advantageous method of learning for boys and men involves short, intense learning bursts followed by demanding physical stimulation. Unfortunately, many public schools are eliminating gym classes during break, further exacerbating issues among boys as described in the recent book that sparked the revolutionary new science of exercise in the brain. Rough and tumble play helps develop the frontal lobe of the brain, which is used to regulate behavior. For example, despite the removal of gym classes from many school curricula, others have focused more on it and found astounding results when kids exercise in the morning. They learn far better, in fact, and improve in all areas of their lives, because humans are holistic and your brain, emotions, and relationships are all tied together. If you're living a sedentary life as a man, you're not getting the benefits of being physically active. You must testosterone-intensive physical activity, such as sprinting or heavyweight lifting followed by extended rest periods, is a good outlet for men's need for physical stimulation. In addition, these intensive physical activities can activate healthy levels of testosterone, which produce many beneficial effects, such as fat loss and muscle gain. Research has found that males thrive in kinesthetic learning environments where they learn through movement. Improved bone density, having normal blood pressure, reduces the risk of obesity and heart attacks, and leads to increased energy, greater career and family enjoyment, and a younger, stronger, sexier, and healthier feeling. Youth is the time to be egotistical and explore, which is fine because it's when we start to discover who we are and lay the groundwork for the future. However, just like dairy products, which have a shelf life, eventually we must adopt behaviors that have a ripple effect on those who are close to us. This is the time to figure out who we are and start laying down foundations for the future. But much like a dairy product, there is an expiration date eventually, and we must adopt we not me. Thank you admitting that our behaviors reverberate across multiple levels, impacting and affecting those who are close to us. This doesn't require the adoption of ongoing humility and self-denial. It does mean that we have to think critically when we ask, how will this impact me? How will this impact you? How will this impact our relationship? Such an approach propels one into communal thinking, and only then can we begin to take on and understand the micro, meso, and macro roles that we as men are meant to fulfill. It's now time that you implement our steps in your life. As the famous saying goes, it's better to try than never. See you guys on the next one.